we are here fighting the good fight. We have so much information to get out to you. There's all kinds of breaking news happening moment by moment. Uh, Coronavirus vaccine trials are beginning today. There will be at least one subject getting a first ever experimental dose of the potential inoculation, according to government officials talking confidentially to reporters. This trial is going to be funded by the National Institutes of Health. 45 young, healthy volunteers are going to receive different doses of shots co-developed by the National Institutes of Health and the Massachusetts-based biotech firm Moderna Incorporated. Um, Listen, we got a lot to like I said, catch up on. I want to make sure that we're wide open for you in terms of your calls, your text messaging, your emails. Our number is 1-800-655-MIKE. If you'd like to join us, there's a lot of anxiety right now. There's a lot of apprehension. There's a lot of probably some fear, especially people who are in vulnerable demographics. There's also other things that are happening. It's not all coronavirus all the time. Last night was a remarkable debate, and I'm telling you right now, if you watched Joe Biden and Bernie Sanders on that empty stage, and looked like they were about 20 feet apart from each other. At one point, they were both talking about coronavirus. They were both incorrectly calling it something that it wasn't. One of them called it SARS. One of them called it Ebola. Biden kept coughing. I mean, it was like surreal. And no studio audience, which incidentally is the way every presidential debate should go, because they're not jockeying to try to win over the crowd. But I kept watching that. I'm thinking, one of these two guys is going to beat Donald Trump in November? I don't see any way that that's going to happen. So that's going on as well. We're doing everything we can to make sure that as Doc Morgan said at the very beginning of the hour, that you have information, that you have knowledge, that you have a sense of calm, but a sense of perspective. And I've been researching all weekend long. I have been interviewing, I have been studying, I've been talking to various officials, including officials in Washington, D.C., and social distancing is logical right now, because what we don't want is to have a spike of infections, and we hope and pray that we're not already behind the curve, because more and more people are going to test positive. There are some estimates that as high as 70% of the American population are going to have the coronavirus. Now, I don't know if that's true, if that's accurate. The expert I spoke to and other access that I had suggests it won't be that high. But we're going to suffer through a few weeks of pain. There's just no way around this. And you can continue to yell at the moon and bay at the moon and say, this shouldn't be so, we shouldn't do this. I believe that it's prudent and rational to respect what the CDC and what our government, including President Trump, is advising: social distancing. If you don't have to be in the office, don't be in the office. If you don't have to go out, don't go out. If you have to go to the store, maybe go at a time when you don't think it'll be as crowded as, like 5 o'clock in the afternoon. A lot of guidelines to get through. But we're gonna be in it for a few weeks. It might be 4 weeks. I mean, let's face it. The country is essentially beginning a nationwide shutdown. New York City, California, Ohio, Washington State, Illinois, Massachusetts, they're all beginning to shut down restaurants, bars. The CDC is advising against any public gathering of 50 or more. We're gonna have at least several weeks, if not more, of a very new normal. So we got a lot to do today. We welcome you into the ReliefFactor.com studios. We're going to take a full hour of the show today and direct your questions to one of the best in the country. Dr. John Sennett is the chairman of internal medicine at the University of South Florida. He's also a senior advisor to the Global Virus Network. He's an epidemiologist at Tampa General Hospital. He's very good at this. We're going to take an entire hour and invite you to call in or write in your questions for Dr. John Sennett, and we're just going to ask him. I just want questions from you because there are lots of confusion. There's lots of rumors. Are they going to close domestic travel, air travel? That is on the table, according to the Trump administration. Will we see sort of a countrywide lockdown the way they're now experiencing in Italy and France, and certainly Asian countries? Why is South Korea ahead of this curve in a way that Italy is not? We're going to break all of this down here on this special edition of the Mike Gallagher Show. Again, our number, 1-800-655-MIKE, 800-655-6453. I'm already sensing, and there's a very interesting dynamic at play here. This is a very bad time to go all political, to criticize Trump, to try to use this national emergency as a reason to go after President Trump. We should be in sort of post 9/11 mode. And you remember that. We were together. We were unified. We didn't care who the Republicans were. We didn't care who the Democrats were. What makes this particularly challenging is we are realistically months away from a general election. And believe me, that can't be ignored. That's very real. And yet it's crude to take an opportunity. And I'm noticing a difference. Even Meet the Press, which I normally scream at and yell at and throw things at my TV, they were relatively neutral yesterday, one of the famous Sunday morning shows, in not just going after President Trump. So a lot to cover. Again, I want to have your voice in this. 1-800-655-MIKE. Of course, the federal government taking big steps with the Fed stepping in, a lot of big decisions being made. As you know, the Federal Reserve has slashed interest rates to near zero with a $700 billion quantitative easing program. We'll detail that and more coming up on this special edition of the Mike Gallagher Show. Glad you're with us. 1-800-655-MIKE. 800-655-6453. Press 1 to come on air with us, 2 to leave a voicemail message. As always, leave your text messages on the MyPillow text line, which is also 800-655-MIKE. What a perfect time, by the way, for a MyPillow. Most pillows you can't throw in the washer and the dryer. You sure can with Mike Lindell's pillow. Stick around. We're just kicking things off for a Monday edition of the Mike Gallagher Show. Coronavirus in America and the world.